This video is going to deal with a man by the name of Briggs. He prophesied the attempted assassination of President Trump 3 months before it happened, and he talked about a bullet grazing Trump's ear.
On his life, this bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. The Lord told me, he said, I am not done with America. Amen. He said, there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out. And that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan. And then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation. And it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up.
Is a Protestant pastor who has a YouTube channel, and he allegedly is having these visions of Jesus Christ, and Jesus talks to him and tells him about things that are happening or going to happen in the future. He shares these prophetic statements on his YouTube channel.
On a minute by minute, pray without ceasing, by having communion. You don't have to be speaking all the time in your mouth. Pray in your heart towards him. Father, I seek your face. I need you, Lord. I need you for my direction, for my house, for my wife, for my husband, or whoever. I need you to teach me on whatever. He said he will teach you into all things. He'll show you things to come. He'll teach you about things. He'll show you how to cook, whatever. It doesn't matter. He loves you, and he wants to help you. I asked him how to fix car, or my lawnmower, or whatever. He'll show you things to come. He'll teach you about everything. All the time he'll teach you. Lord, I need your help. He's an ever-present help in a time of need. People go, well, do you hear him all the time? Yes, all the time. If you will listen to him and you build a relationship with him, he'll talk to you about everything. You know, it's just like a lot of times these people will call and they ask me, they tell me, I hear people say, well, I don't want you, I think you should not make so many videos. Some people say, I've heard preachers tell me, I don't think you should make so many videos. So I pray about it, and the Lord said, Brandon, if Kenneth Hagin could preach a revival, 5-week revival, preach twice in a day, every single day for five weeks straight, and never get tired, you're fine, son, to do a little 15-minute sermon on the internet every several days. It's not going to hurt you. You're going to be just fine. He started laughing about it because people have such a small-minded mentality, because I start going about it, and he goes, Brandon, you're never going to run out of the water. You're never going to run out of the river if you're close to the vine, son. You got to be close to me. But the reason why people get dry and they get weary in well-doing is because they're not staying close to the vine.
Deals with some predictions that Briggs made about what happens as far as the election concerned. He says that President Trump is going to become president again. He talks about an economic crisis that happens because of what the Democrats had done up until then. He talks about some of the things that are going to happen during his presidency. And this is the first thing about Trump dealing with economic factors.
Like economic crisis. It had like I'm saying, dollar crash, things like that. And they were written on the barrels. And it was all being contained by this dam. And the Lord said, they're holding back all that until the election is over. And when that is over, it will be released. That's what I saw. And I saw that dam break, and it flooded upon the American soil. And all those 50-gallon drums fell and rolled down. It was like a toxic waste is what it looked like, rolling down out of that big dam. And so, like I said, I've never showed that publicly. But that's interesting. I should have shared it a long time ago now. I have to think about it. But okay. So when this happens, I saw food lines. I saw people lined up down the street, and it happened like that. And the ticker was going down, and the stock market was crashing, and people were freaking out. And it was terrible. And everything happened that fast. The dollar collapses. And so all that dam was released, and then all the dollar crashed, and it was people, like I said, were there was, and like I've said this too, I don't know how long it lasts. When I'm talking about President Trump praying in the Oval Office, it could have been praying for months. I believe this thing lasts. I've told you about the 4 oak trees. People want to know about the 4 oak trees. What about the 4 oak trees? What about the 4 oak trees? What does that mean? I believe it means 4 years of an economic downturn. Bad. And it will take that time frame for things to get better. I said the first year came on suddenly and people did not expect it. And I saw their faces. They had dirt on them. They looked dirty. They looked like the children that you see pictures of in the Depression. They look, their clothes looked dingy toward the 2 middle years. And I saw people really struggling in those 2. The first year was bad. The second year was bad. The third year was bad. And things started to turn around into the 4th year. They started coming out of it. Okay? And I saw the 4 years, 4 oak trees. First year came on really quick. I'm going to repeat it again. First year came on like overnight. Bam. People weren't expecting it. They lost everything. They were in their shorts and they were in t-shirts and they were freezing. This was a symbolic thing. It was not about that they were cold, but it was like, oh no, a shock. Oh, the cold air came. The leaves on the trees fell and everything was barren. The oak tree was still alive, which represents America. But the leaves and the fruit of the tree was stripped off, which was prosperity, the blessing, the acorns, okay? Was stripped off. I saw Trump taking pieces of a ship that went poof, okay? And it was America's ship. And all the ship had different pieces. I saw a wing over here. I saw a cockpit over there. I saw the tail over here. I saw the wheels of the ship. It's not a ship. It's a plane. A rocket ship is what I'm trying. A rocket ship. Okay, it's not a boat. It's a ship, like a rocket ship. So it had the wheels were off, and everything was pieces everywhere. But this is amazing because in the vision, President Trump took a piece of the wing and piece of another piece, and he couldn't put it back together. I want you to hear what I'm saying, okay? This is very important. Listen to me. He couldn't put it back together the way it was before. He took it and put it back together to make it usable and how he could salvage it the best he could. Okay? And he created a new kind of an airplane. It could fly, but it was never as good as the original. It was never as good as the original. It could fly. This plane that he will build will fly again. I believe in the 4th year. But it will never be America like it was. Okay? It was a type and shadow. I saw USA written on the airplane. But the Lord spoke to me and he said, I'm bringing a wisdom like Solomon to help, for this will be my rescue to America. And in this, he said, there will be a great humbling that will come. And in the humbling, America will be rebirthed. There will be a rebirthing come for America. And I saw America start to come up off that ground in this broken up looking airplane, looking ship looking thing, rocket ship. And it started to fly, but it was like a biplane, like barely wanting to go. It wasn't a jet no more. It wasn't a rocket, but it was a plane and it was flying. And then the Lord showed me upon Mexico. I saw Canada and I saw America, and they created no borders. I wanted to call borders because I'm not going to add to or take away from anything. I'm going to get in trouble again. I did not see no borders. I saw that there was no financial borders. That's a better way to say it. No financial borders. I never saw no borders like you were able to come into Mexico and everybody else with no security. I saw no financial borders. That's a better way to say that, because the people will be going, well, you missed that. He's going to build a wall. No, he will build a wall, okay? And there will be, I've seen that. There will be a wall built. But financial borders is a better way to say this, okay? And they created a one currency between them to try to combat the BRICS. Combat the BRICS nations, okay? Because they were strong and they were trying to thrive without America. And he created a Mexico-Canada currency. He signed contracts. They created their own thing. That's how they were trying to salvage what they could. England and Germany, France, all of Europe join in with the financial system with America. So I'm just, the war in Europe will cause the euro to crash. So he builds that plane, and so then I see us coming out of it. And I see America, like I said, I saw revival break forth. I saw in these hard times, I saw revival. I saw a shaking. I saw people thinking, this is an Ichabod. God left. I heard people saying that. This is God's judgment on America. And the Lord said to me, Brandon, this is not my judgment upon America. This is my wake up. This is a wake up call. This is correction. For you will not be a goat nation. You will be a sheep nation that serves me. And because, I've told you all, because of the covenants that were made at Plymouth Rock, they all stood around Plymouth Rock, and I saw the old ancestors of our country all standing around Plymouth Rock, taking communion and calling out for a God-fearing nation, a one nation under God. That's the kind of people that stood on that soil, and they proclaimed that this would be a nation that serves God. And he said, those prayers still come before my throne. And he said, Brandon, I will not let those prayers be ignored. I still hear them. They still cry out to me. And he said, I honor them. And not just because of how bonehead these people are, but like what we have in the office now. But he said he's going to bring that back still, and they will stand. This will be a righteous nation again.
I've also made a number of prophecies about war and what some things that were going to occur that were going to cause this war to get bigger. Interesting prophecies, and the next thing I'm going to show is some of that.
Saw him strike Poland because Poland got missiles from other countries. Something happened, and they were Poland was provoking Russia, okay, and because of war stuff and helping out with Ukraine, but there was something more to this. So all of a sudden, about Warsaw, Poland, I believe is where, by Belarus area, I saw a humongous mushroom cloud, kind of an explosion. And I said, during this visitation, when I'm seeing all this in the spirit, I said, Lord, oh no, they're going to use tactical nukes. And the Lord said, no. This is a weapon that has never been used before ever on the earth. We've never seen this. Everything that went like a 50-mile radius or bigger, it was huge, this blast zone. And it vaporized everything. It went roof. And it was like it's like everything disintegrated. But it didn't destroy the buildings. Okay, it just like it went whack, and it's everybody just. It was a wicked weapon. So I saw this happen, and when this happened, I saw the World War III, and it escalated even more, like I told you was coming. And so everybody was getting involved then when this happened. Like all of Europe was getting involved in this because of the weapon that Russia used. Then I saw Turkey with these massive these drums, humongous drums, and they started beating these old ancient drums that I've never seen used before. And they were all lined up all on the water of Turkey. And I saw Turkey join in with Russia and support Russia and start funding them with all kinds of stuff to help them with their war efforts. Then I saw Iran join Russia and Iran and Turkey were joining. And then I saw them come against Israel. And I saw men with red hats that were marching like, coming out of Syria, coming against Israel. And the Lord told me this is the beginning of Ezekiel 38-39 war. I believe it was Gog and Magog is what I believe is what this is. But Ezekiel 38-39 war. And I saw that it escalate. But the United States did not participate in this at all. We were busy with Europe, okay? But we did not help out with this. And people were upset about it, and they called it the Great Betrayal because they did not help out with this war. And Israel was on their own. Everybody was against Israel. Everybody was. And I could see this happening all throughout the Middle East. All these people were rising up against Israel. And you have to remember, I saw this over 2 years ago. That this vision happened, the Lord showed me all this happening, okay? So then, whenever I saw that America did not stand with Israel, I saw China shoot like something out of China that looked like a dragon, a red dragon face, but it went over America. And I thought this was really interesting because I don't know what it was, if it was a missile or if it was cyber or whatever. But this will be the second time I've seen this kind of a thing. Now, because it's later on. I mean, that was 2 years ago when I saw this, okay? So I saw this red dragon going across America. And then the Lord showed me Hawaii. And I saw Honolulu and the Big Island and all those islands at war with China with a surprise attack similar to Pearl Harbor again, with them bringing F-16s, and they were bombing the people, and they could not get away in this surprise attack. It happened in Hawaii, and I saw people running, and everything was on fire, and it was very, very intense, the thing that happened in Hawaii. So I was, and like I said, if you live in Hawaii, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you what I saw when I was praying. And I could see the buildings exploding, and I could see people running for their life, but there was nowhere for them to go because it's an island. Okay? So, fast forward to present day. None of this stuff was happening 2 years ago.
Video that Brandon Biggs made some predictions about that I included in this is basically some earthquakes and stuff that's going to happen according to Brandon Biggs, and then more about that war. So it's interesting. If his prophecies continue to be true, then there's something to this. If we look at these and these things don't happen, then obviously it's not what something. But if it is, and again, it's kind of like evidence that, hey, God's real. All this stuff that we kind of look at and say, it's real. Heaven is real. Hell is real, and we need to kind of get ourselves on the good side. And that's kind of what Brandon Biggs' message is when we look at his videos. He's interested in getting people to turn to the Lord before all these things. And he's kind of calling all these things like a wake-up call. It's like God is getting us, trying to get us back to him. And that's what he's hoping for. So that is the last video.
Over America. What I saw was horror beyond anything I have ever seen. I saw the United States seem to crack in two with a giant earthquake right down the middle. I saw the southeastern United States covered with a giant wave of water from the ocean. I saw a massive earthquake that just seemed to crack off the coast of California. It reminded me of a saltine cracker that just cracked in two. The great cities along the west coast just fell into the ocean, all the way from Mexico up to Alaska, and giant waves flooded inland until much of the west coast just wasn't there. It disappeared into the Pacific Ocean.
Do you all remember that word? That's exactly what I saw.
Then I saw 3 giant rocket missiles that took off into the air. 2 came from out of the ocean waters, and 1 came from land and traveled a great distance. All of them blew up in the air, 1, 2, and 3 in the upper atmosphere within 5 minutes of each other. It was out near space. They were terrible nuclear bombs. But the last one was the biggest, and it created a huge mushroom cloud over the Midwest part of America. Then the ground shook and everything went black. There wasn't any electric light coming out of any of the homes. Then candles began to be lit in fires and a little light was seen. There were other nuclear explosions and many people perished throughout the nation. There was just twisted metal and charred debris in cities that once were tall and majestic. There was widespread looting and gangs roaming about everywhere with guns, stealing whatever food and supplies they could find. Then I saw what looked like elite riot police by the thousands go into communities and even cities,